Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. If manager Rob Pelinka wants to save the Lakers season, he will need to release several players and bring in other players with high-level offensive and defensive power. Going far in this championship will depend exclusively on the total reformulation of the squad. Later we'll have the opportunity to sign 3 great players in exchange for 3 teams. The Los Angeles Lakers need to reshape their roster to be contenders, and this 3-team trade sets them up perfectly. The Los Angeles Lakers have fallen to their worst losses of the season in back-to-back games, first losing to the Minnesota Timberwolves before a 41-point blowout against the Miami Heat last night. Even LeBron James and Anthony Davis know that the blame can't be put on the coaching, as they defended J.J. Redick post-game and blamed the players. However, there's a larger structural problem causing their issues. Lakers GM Rob Pelinka has made very few moves since the trade to dump Russell Westbrook in February 2023, with the Lakers running an almost identical roster from last season by subbing out Taurean Prince for Dalton Knecht. The blame falls on the players, but we need the one who has put this collection of talent together to make a bold move and shake the Lakers up. He could engineer a massive deal with 2 bottom-of-the-conference teams to greatly improve their roster. Los Angeles Lakers receive Brandon Ingram, Collin Sexton, Walker Kessler. New Orleans Pelicans receive Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, Drew Eubanks, 2025 second-round pick, LAL, 2027 second-round pick, LAL. Utah Jazz receive D'Angelo Russell, Jalen Hood-Schifino, Gabe Vincent, 2027 first-round pick, LAL, 2025 second-round pick, LAL, 2030 second-round pick, LAL. This deal gives the Pelicans an avenue to dump Ingram before his impending free agency and likely departure from the franchise, with the 2 returning players potentially being useful for a return to competitive fire. The Jazz get a robust pick package and multiple players for 2 key players who would transform the Lakers overnight. This deal is extremely optimistic on the Lakers' side, but if they can find some sort of a variation of this deal where they can get away with giving up only 1 first-round pick, it would be considered a phenomenal deal. No matter how passive Rob Pelinka wants to be, even he can't dispute the extreme value the Lakers get in this trade by swapping out 5 players for 3 higher-quality replacements. Brandon Ingram is averaging 22.9 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 5.4 assists this season on the injury-stricken Pelicans, with his future looking cloudy unless he gets moved to a new franchise. Collin Sexton is averaging 16.9 points, 2.6 rebounds, and 3.2 assists for the Jazz, while Walker Kessler is averaging 10.9 points, 10.5 rebounds, and 2.8 blocks as his teammate. Sexton adds another guard scoring threat with a higher defensive output than D'Angelo, while Kessler addresses J.J. Redick's day-one need for another big man on the roster. The Lakers can play Kessler as their starting center, while Davis returns to his more natural position as a power forward. Ingram would slot in as the 3 as LeBron James completes a full-time shift to point guard with Austin Reaves starting alongside him while Sexton comes off the bench. The Lakers will have to address minor holes on their roster like backup guard play and the excessive big man depth with Kessler, Jackson Hayes, and Christian Wood, but those can be answered using additional minor trades or buyout market signings with the additional roster spots. The Lakers cannot afford to be a middle-of-the-road West team once again. They'll stay competitive enough for the play-in once again, which will land them an unfavorable first-round matchup, which likely will lead to another first-round exit for the franchise. If Pelinka believes in LeBron and Davis, he'll not hesitate before making the solid value deal. Filling out the top 6 of this rotation with high-caliber players and rounding the rotation out by giving Max Christie greater opportunity or finding bargains in free agency, the Lakers will be far better off with a deal like this. The Pelicans load up for one last contention push with Zion Williamson next season, with most of their core under contract for next season. The Jazz prepare for a bright future, where they control 2 future first-round picks that belong to the Lakers. J.J. Redick extremely frustrated with Lakers players after loss to the Heat. J.J. Redick was not happy with his team after the disappointing performance in their 134-93 loss to the Heat. J.J. Redick seemed to have it all figured out in the early part of the season. Despite not having any coaching experience in the past, Redick was doing a great job with the Lakers, leading them to a great record in the West. But now, having lost 6 of his last 8 games as head coach, Redick expressed his frustration regarding his team's performances during his press conference after a 134-93 loss to the Heat. "I can't physically get us organized. I can't physically call our reads and call out coverages. I'm not blaming players. I won this. But I need some ownership on the court as well." Redick also spoke about other subjects during his press conference, which you can check out below. "On the togetherness of his team, there's not a sense from me that we're together right now. That's what we say in the huddle. Doesn't feel that way. We're in a tough stretch. We're all trying to find it." On what has gone wrong this season defensively, there were a couple possessions where we weren't in rotation. It's funny because it felt like earlier in the year we were having trouble at the point of attack. But we've actually been better there. Now we're having a lot of trouble with our transition defense. Overall, we've been better there. We're having trouble on both ends with base-level game plan stuff. It's very odd. I don't know if that's because of travel or the lack of practice time, but to really not execute. The answer to that is probably next week. It's an opportunity for us to be in the gym and get some practice time with us not making the cup. We'll do that. What he expects from LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Bron and I spoke this morning, we had a nice conversation. I thought. He was very talkative with his teammates, he was encouraging them. I need him to uplift his teammates. A lot of us, we're going through it right now. I think with AD, he's not had the performances that he had to start the year. There's a level of frustration. But he'll get out of it, I have no doubt. We say this with most teams. They just tee up. We just have to be physical on both sides of the ball. To start the game, they really took us out of what we were trying to do. And we didn't match that level of physicality. And that can sort of get frustrating for a player. Whether he is calm about what needs to be done, calm? Yeah, this is problem solving. Obviously, when you lose by 41, the problems are glaring and you gotta get with the group and fix it. Nothing wrong with that. I'm calm about that. How he plans on fixing the Lakers' problems, good question. I'll talk about with my staff. Certainly talk with the group. Certainly talk with the individual guys. We have good guys and we have guys that want to win and want to play the right way. Figuring out how to do that together, that's the challenge for almost any team. When you can do it, and we've done it, you just want to get back to that, and we will. You could see and hear the frustration from Redick's expressions and tone tonight. A 41-point loss to a middling Eastern Conference team is a big blow, and the Lakers' problems were on full display tonight. Going forward, he will have to do a lot to make sure that things change. The Lakers were abysmal tonight, both on the offensive and the defensive end of the court. The Lakers shot just 42% from the field, 22.7% from the three-point line, and 73.7% from the free-throw line. With poor efficiency numbers such as this, it is no surprise that they weren't able to cross the 100-point threshold. LeBron James and Anthony Davis have been underperforming during this stretch. Davis had the worst game of the season tonight, with just 8 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal, while going 3-14 from the field. LeBron James did have a bounce-back game with 29 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and 1 steal, but did have 5 costly turnovers. James did admit that tonight's outing and their recent slump were not the fault of the coaches. It is becoming increasingly clear that the Lakers need to make some moves before the trade deadline if they want to remain competitive in the West. It was reported that 3 of the Lakers' key rotation pieces were on the trading block and could be moved to bring in some upgrades to the team. The Lakers will have a break for a few days until they play against the Hawks on Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They should use the next few days to recalibrate and zero in on what their problems as a team are.